Hi everyone, my name is Arun. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to give some details about the coding test, technical test, which is recently conducted by Capgemini, the implementation of HATEOAS by Spring Boot application. So generally, they check like how we are good in HATEOAS in a Spring Boot application. The HATEOAS is a mechanism which is not limited to Spring Boot. It's a mechanism which can be implemented by She-Hash or Node.js as well. So first of all, they're going to check like what's the use case of HATEOAS and how you are going to use. And before implementing, they'll ask some questions about whether you have experience or you have what is the best use cases to use in your project. So it's like the interview is like based depends upon the project to project. If the project has a requirement in the Spring Boot HATEOAS, then mostly the coding test is also be in a HATEOAS implementation with the Spring Boot. HATEOAS stands for Hypermedia as a engine of application state, which the Spring HATEOAS can allows to create API that allows the HATEOAS principle of displaying related links for a given resource. Basically, the principle state that the API should provide a guide to the client by returning information of the possible for next step what needs to be. So basically just displaying the links without creating the link by a server. So it's automatically creates the links in case of any version change or in case of links. So it creates and provide guide to the next steps. With Spring HATEOAS, we can create easily links to the particular resource representation models. So I'm going to show what's has been given in the actual test. First, they will give me the empty application like Spring Boot application with some tool. So in that you will have to apply like your logic for creating service model and a controller. So some part of the code is already written, but the rest of the part we'll have to write the code for that. So I'm going to just open the Eclipse now. I opened the Eclipse now. Here they provide empty application employee service controller employee application which has employee controller employee service where you need to update the code. Here employee bean is given. It has some fields, setters and getters, service. So you need to update the code in service. So generally it's not Eclipse, but it can be given in a HackerRank as well. Any other tool which supports the tool and running the report. Here basically with using the HATEOAS, you need to create links which will help to the front end. The front end will capture the version and links like create employee, update employee, delete employee, add a new employee. So like all CRUD operations, you need to create the links which HATEOAS, which that is a task is given in a HackerRank. So the first I'm going to check whether HATEOAS is already there in form.xml or not. If not there, we need to add the pom.xml as a dependency. Now I'm adding. So representation model, the bean should be extend this class. This is the base first step to implement HATEOAS in Spring Boot. I'm making toString also to be implementing here. Controller, it's empty controller. It has one method and a service is empty service. I'm going to add all the methods now. Just manning, get employee string, employee ID, and string organization ID. Create an employee object where I'm setting apply generally. So it's I'm not connecting to the database here. So this just making some values to hard code for a time being. But actually, the implementation for to get it from the database. But here they agree that hard coding the values to the focus on the headers, but not this to connect to the database. Just generating this random number to add employee number, employee ID. So the focus is just to getting the links, version, and all. Setting the first name. I'm going to set the last name. Setting up organization ID. I'm returning employee object for this method in employee service. I do the indentation at the end, but right now I'm not doing it at this moment, but I'll do it at the end of the, once the coding, everything is complete. Now I'm doing with the update employee. So basically we are creating the links for these services which the client can use it. So these are the methods in a service which will going to implement and generate the links for each of the service. This is a focus and this is an expectation at the coding perspective. But we have a time for 90 minutes, but within 90 minutes we should able to finish it off this exercise. So I've just declared the method here. So I'm going to put the implementation now. I'm just checking the string util is empty or not for the employee object. This is messages to like where you can update them means for a create message or update method delete messages here. This like the message resources. It is nothing more than that. Same thing I copied. I'm just making update for delete. Just adding the employee and just getting the first name, which is set it before, and then last name. So all created, add employee, delete employee, update employee. Now I'm invoking the service method in a controller now. Here also I'm taking, so I need to implement two things like create link. It is available in MVC, HATEOAS server MVC, web MVC link builder dot link 2. Method on. So these two which help to create the links based on the service method from the controller. Link to method on. First link, this is first link which I need to implement controller. creating for all links. It's add employee, update employee, delete employee here. Think it's, yeah, really. I'm returning here response entity. Doing the same thing implementation for update employee. Just copy paste problem, so I'm just modifying it now. So there's a different name should be there. Add, update, delete. Taking a request body as employee object. Just a parameter problem. It's fixed now. Yeah, it's fixed. So I need to implement the similar like delete and update, delete and add. Sorry. Doing for add employee, Um, here the import, add employee. Oh, something wrong. Yeah, now it's fixed now. Just a simple parameter mismatch. Oops. I think there is some parameter mismatch. I'm just checking. Just simple employee object. I'm starting the application now. Oh, there is some exception. is already employee controller. I think there is a duplicate name, I think. Let me check. It's a post mapping. I just copied it and not changed to delete mapping. So I'm changing it now. I'm starting the application. Yeah, fixed now. Just running the URL now. Yeah, here is the details. We can see all the links: add employee, update employee, delete employee, and the basic. We got some employee variable, but we'll fix it down the line for update employee. So everything looks fine, and so with self just reviewing it, like link to method on everything is correct or not. It just added the methods in the service and generate the links, but the mapping, like request mapping, post mapping, delete mapping, should be correct. Mapping, correct annotation should be there. They just check like whether you have idea of how you are implementing HATEOAS, but they're not checking in depth. But sometimes you will be giving a Spring application and change it to the Spring Boot. Doing the indentation now. Just checking whether I'm just repeating like what we have done so far. Check further, we have HATEOAS, pom.xml, and